What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy, the Goose, and the Goose is loose, baby. Ha! And I am finally back. It's been a brief hiatus. As you know from the last WandaVision video, I moved recently, so it took me a little while to get settled in. I'm working a job as well, so I'm not just YouTubing. I had kind of been paranoid hermiting while I was in New Jersey. Working was kind of a scary thing during the times we live in, but I'm back in the workforce, so that took priority. And now though, my setup is here, and I'm excited to start bringing some videos again, guys. It's gonna be everything, and it's gonna happen quick. I'm gonna start pumping out videos. This is a wrestling video. This is my WWE Fastlane review. I am going to post a mock draft tomorrow with my first guest on the channel. First of many, I'm hoping. I have some wrestling friends I want to have on eventually. I'd like to have maybe some Marvel or comic book fans. If you're interested in that, please let me know. I'd love to have some friends on, or potentially some viewers I don't know when we meet through this format. You know, like, I'm open to anything. But before I left for my little hiatus, I got to 50 subscribers, so now the march to 100 begins. So please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Like the video to help me with the algorithms and all that. But other than that, y'all, let's get into this WWE Fastlane review. So, I didn't watch the pre-show. I realistically I could have, but I got out of work late, and I was like, if it was on the pre-show, it's not really necessary. So, Riddle retained, cool. Retribution broke up, great. That's overdue. They were doing nothing. They were kind of spinning wheels, so I'm glad that's over. Hopefully, Ali gets something out of this. Um, so Sasha and Bianca are going for the tag team titles to start off the night against Nia and Shayna. This feud has been weird. Now they're teasing like Nia and Shayna having a beef because every tag team in the women's division is just, can it work? Are they gonna fight? Two unlikely forces. It's like everything. They are so unoriginal with their booking of this division. It sucks. Not the division. Their booking is what sucks, is what I'm saying. I'm gonna go through my notes obviously as we go here. Um, I said Shane is really good. Bianca selling like hell, taking a beating. WWE does this thing where like they actively make their young wrestlers pay dues on on live broadcast. Like, instead of doing the house show loop, which I guess is dead now, getting your L's there, like, Bianca just got her ass beat this entire match. I talked about it being a problem when Dominic debuted. Like, I just saw him get his ass beat over and over and over. And like, I get it, take your lumps, but like, book somebody like young to win. Like, I don't know, maybe it's a loose point, but there's just these trends that they stick to that I don't enjoy. Um, Another trend that they stick to that I don't enjoy is making their wrestlers look dumb. Sasha looked dumb at the end of this match. Clearly, Bianca was trying to help, and Nia sneakily rolled away. And I literally mean rolled out of the ring. That wasn't a joke. It just makes the wrestlers look dumb. Like, why would Bianca break up your submission? Why would she do that? Like, Braun looks like an idiot. Sasha looks kind of dumb. Like, these trends making your wrestlers look dumb. The tag teams that don't get along. Like, it's all just so. It's like a universe mode that just got let to loop, and this is the random pay-per-view match happening. I had said here, like, I don't know. I don't know if this helps the build. I don't know that I'm more excited now. I mean, Sasha's the heel. Fine, that makes sense, I suppose. But it was very obvious this is the way it would go. So I don't know. I mean, they've got some work to do over the next month to make me care more about Sasha Bianca. I'm excited for the match, but make the story something. And right now, the way the commentary, like Corey just was, when they're told to hit home about a topic, Jesus, do they do it? Because all match long, Corey was talking about experience, experience, inexperience, not yet. Holy hell, like, just vary your delivery of your commentary. Bianca looked tremendous though with that 450 at the end. I didn't even really know she could do that. I don't watch a ton of NXT. I watch the takeovers, but I've missed some. Um, Ultimately, I thought this match was like a C minus. It was a SmackDown segment. Like it, the first three matches of this card are, oy. And then we get what I have written down as a Shane Elias racist piece of crap. Jackson Riker, that is. Segment backstage. It's nothing. Shane, I don't want to see him, so every segment with him, I just roll my eyes. And now we're getting into Big E versus Apollo. And the hype package was great. The new Big E is awesome. I was liking Big E's seriousness in the promo. And then during the match, he was kind of hamming a little bit. Like, I thought, for one, he was talking too much. I don't know, like, he wasn't doing enough to warrant the amount of shit talk he was doing. Like, I wish the first 4 minutes of this match were just Big E, just not like it should have been more fast. Big E should have spent 3 minutes really suplexing. I don't know, just a bunch of hard shit. It just, it didn't feel earned, the pacing of that. Um, Apollo, I like his new thing going on, but this match just, I don't know. Um, Ultimately, it was building, I guess, but it wasn't exciting me. And then we got a weird series of roll-ups that looked like a botch that ended up with Apollo getting pinned, but it didn't look like Apollo got pinned. So why did Apollo not sell that he didn't know if he had lost? Why was it immediately he knew? Because nobody knew? It didn't look. It was a very weird spot. I thought the way to sell that was everybody, what happened? And then the ref calls for the bell and Big E's music hits, and then Apollo attacks because he realizes he lost. Why did he just know he lost, other than that it was booked that way? Make it work. Like, just little things like that. I don't know, man. That was a sloppy match that I don't know what you do. If these two are going to go at Mania, it's got to be a hard hitting, like, falls count anywhere match where you let them push the pace. Especially Apollo. Big E as the powerhouse makes sense, obviously, and it's what he's incredible at, but I think this was too much talking. It works with Roman. With Big E, I kind of just want more destroy. I gave that a C or C minus. So, not starting off hot. Then they show us Shane actually getting injured, and there's the Braun Strowman Elias match that was dog shit. I hate Jackson Riker or Ryder or whatever his name is. Get his racist ass off my TV. I like Elias, but I'm sorry they've done nothing with him. Shane is not good at his job, in my opinion. I don't hate him. I'm not annoyed by him as a fan. I'm annoyed by him as a knowledgeable wrestling person, if that makes sense. Like, as a fan, alright, but just like, as somebody who's been watching for however long, I'm just done with the McMahons. My God, remove your ego from wrestling. The McMahons do not run wrestling. You're not needed on every fucking program. Then they show us a U.S. title recap. I gave the Braun match a C. Or a C minus. U.S. title recap. Riddle does, like, the worst backstage segment I've ever seen, potentially. Where he's talking about his cousin Skeeter, who went to the scooter to the... What? Who writes this shit? This is like one of the worst segments I have ever seen. Like, Matt Riddle not working is so ridiculous because he's a great in-the-ring worker. Between the ropes, Matt Riddle is excellent. His character, this stoner thing they're doing, where Vince is showing you pretty clearly what he thinks of stoners, is just awful. It's awful. They're ruining him. He's a champion in WWE and a great worker, and his character work is just garbage. So now it is time for Seth and Shinsuke, and this is the match where the card turned around. These two went for 13 minutes. Really felt like they could have gone 20, but I mean, it's not a main event program. Um, but it's funny in the build that they never bring up like Seth being a world champion. I thought that's something Corey would mention. Like when Cesaro and Nakamura are ignoring Seth, why wouldn't Corey in the storytelling be like, well, if they're not champions, they should listen to Seth, a world champion? I don't get why you wouldn't include that. It's an obvious part of the story you're telling. Um, that sliding out of the ring German from Shinsuke is just so dirty. I love that move. Rollins did this wild transition. I wrote WTF Seth. He like hooked his own foot and turned momentum and hit an Inzaguri. It was nuts. I wrote down Seth is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and he is one of the best workers for sure. He can go with anybody. And now it's funny that he keeps doing the respect thing. I feel like Seth is the guy who's always going to look out for himself business wise. So he's sowing seeds in case Punk ever comes back. They already like talked shit on Twitter last year. Now he's yelling about respect like somebody named CM Punk used to. So I don't know. That's just my head went there as he was yelling respect. It won't happen, but if it did, Seth is probably the guy to get that match, and he's pretty smart for doing this. Rhea gets a hype package, and like, thank goodness. If you saw my Royal Rumble review, you know I think Rhea Ripley could be a future main eventer of WrestleMania. I think she could be the future of the business. She's incredible, and I think with Charlotte no longer being on the WrestleMania poster, I could see Rhea getting the title at Mania. Definitely. Then Sheamus versus Drew, no holds barred. This thing kicked ass. They beat each other like government mules, as JR used to say. I wish this was a last man standing because I think it was, unless I just saw like a reported headline. I thought this was a last man standing match, so that was in my head. But then it was no holds barred. But like it was a great match, but I wish it was last man standing. Um, Drew and Sheamus both look great here. I was somebody who's been doubting the way this story has been building with Drew, and I was afraid that it was starting to feel a little too like 2018 Roman-ish, where like they were pushing him too hard, and I didn't want him to get booed at Mania. But my God, every time he's in the ring, he nails it. And these two have had a hell of a series. It's some of the most physical matches back and forth. Samoa Joe killed me at the beginning of the match. He said to the audience, he was like, if you have a mouthpiece, put it in, because this is going to be physical. Why do I need a mouthpiece? One of the things that I thought about this match, I wish this was a number one contenders match. Why does Sheamus not want the main event of WrestleMania? Why is he content with the fact that if he wins this match, Drew is still going to the main event? I don't necessarily get that. Maybe that'll be expanded on, or maybe it won't. But that just felt weird for me through this whole match. Then he's digging the kendo stick into the eye. That was a dirty looking thing. It was just brutal. They start fighting through the crowd, through the Thunderdome. I said it started to feel like Owens and Reigns a little bit, but I think it's just because they were wrestling up on that platform. And then Drew gets his sick WrestleMania pose. I don't care. It was cool. Is it contrived that they brawled to right under the WrestleMania sign? Maybe. Do I care? Nope. I thought it was cool. Drew underneath the sign. With his fucking Scottish paint on his face, looking like Mel Gibson. Man, just so physical. The white noise through the table, bro kick combination hit hard. Sheamus got his in this match. Sheamus deserves a spot at Mania doing something. Maybe against Riddle if Ali and him are done. And Drew sells it at the end. Drew sells that Sheamus put him through hell. I gave that match an A, genuinely. Potentially an A plus even. It was. I'll stick to an A, not an A plus, only because you need to have maybe even an A minus. I don't know. For what it was excellent. It was physical as hell. They beat the hell out of each other. I think Drew looked great going into Mania as he needed to, and I was a little concerned about if I would feel that way coming out of this match, and I did. They put on a hell of a brawl. And now it's time for Randy and Alexa, and I apparently nobody in wrestling likes this. I don't see anybody enjoying it on Twitter. I'm into it. This kind of dragged a little bit, the thing with Alexa. I think you could have done something different than just Randy pacing through the ring, the thing falling. It all just dragged. If that had been a quick 1 minute boom fiend done, I think that's a better booking. Or just have Randy and Alexa grapple for a few minutes. Rest holds. I don't know. Grab a hold. Tell a story. Um, that's from Top Rope Nation. Go listen to Top Rope Nation Wrestling Podcast if you haven't. I'm a patron of theirs on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. They're a great channel to watch. Um, Randy and Alexa. Yeah, it was just, I liked it. The Fiend looks sick in my opinion. I assume this is like a 2 Wrestlemania look. This feels like a limited run kind of a gimmick look. I think he'll probably have some kind of new Fiend at some point. Um, but I liked this a lot. I really did. Um, I gave it an A just because I like this spoopy shit. But if you don't, I guess I understand that. Um, Now it is time for the main event. Roman and Daniel Bryan with Edge as the special enforcer. I shared something on Twitter that I didn't get any heat for, but I thought I might. Part of that program package, the video package for Daniel and Edge, or Daniel and Roman, was the moment with Edge and Daniel where he was like, "But you're not better than me." Daniel Bryan is better than every single thing he could be better than Edge at in professional wrestling. In the ring, psychology, as a babyface, as a heel. I'm sorry, there's nothing Edge does better than Daniel Bryan. And he never has. Edge is a top 20 wrestler ever, maybe. Top 25 for sure. Top 15 if you're really an Edge guy, but he's not top 10. And Daniel Bryan is in my book. Maybe I have to do my definitive top 10. I think I did my favorites. I didn't do my power ranking though, so that could be interesting. But I think Daniel Bryan, watching this match, watching his run since he's unretired, he's the Bret Hart of our generation. He is a technician. The way he was like a pest to Roman at the beginning of this match, it was so much fun. He's a master. I have written down here, pure technician. The way Roman is just getting annoyed with him, and the commentary is starting to sell the fact that Roman is getting annoyed. And the fact that Daniel said in the build, "I'm going to break you and tap you." And we saw Daniel put out a lot of submissions. There was a lot happening. There was an armbar he caught him in. There was a guillotine, not a guillotine, a triangle. I think he went for a heel hook. He was locking in everything he could put Roman in. Um, I said at one point, oh yeah, Paul Heyman just started yelling at one point. He was like, "You should listen." Paul Heyman's just gold. He's really picking his spots here with Roman, which I'm respecting a lot. With Brock, it's kind of big monologues. It's a performance. With Roman, he doesn't need as much, but he's every time he does anything, it's um but ultimately this is a great match. There was the moment where Daniel says to Roman, I think, "I'm gonna break you." And then he grabs the hands and does the stomping on the head, which is brutal. And he used that as a transition into a yes lock. And Then to get back to the middle of the ring, I can't even describe the transition he did again. Daniel Bryan is a master at this shit, y'all. Like, he is. Watching him work in the ring is. It's like art. It's my friends. I don't know them. My friends, the channel Cultaholic. The guy Ross Tweddle. The guys over at Cultaholic say liquid wrestling a lot. Go follow Cultaholic Wrestling if you don't and you like wrestling. They say liquid wrestling. It's when it's also fluid, and that's Daniel Bryan. He is just exceptional. Um, then the running knee to Daniel Bryan. Oh, to the ref. Roman ducks it and the ref gets hit. Then Roman hits a spear. Edge comes in, gets a 2 count. It was a real 2 count. Um then that's when Daniel catches him in the triangle, which he gets lifted into a power bomb, which he then like a spider monkey works back down Roman's body and gets him back in the yes lock. It was incredibly impressive. Um Then he does ground and pound on Roman before he locks in the yes lock, and it's looking close. And then super kick party from Jey Uso. Jey comes out, super kicks Daniel, super kicks Edge, and then Daniel rebounds with a running knee. You can see Daniel's considering blasting Roman with the chair. I like that callback to when Daniel Bryan beat AJ by cheating. Daniel Bryan was a babyface when he turned and won that title. When he low blowed him, it cemented a heel turn. So it was like, look, he's gone there before. He has done the necessary to win. It's what Kevin Owens couldn't do. Like he stayed babyface. Well, maybe if Daniel Bryan turns heel, he gets the title. If he just unloads a chair shot right there. And Roman gets out of the way and Edge eats it. And after that, the yes lock is in again. And Roman taps, which is, I know it didn't get called, but still, the fact that Roman tapped shows a lot of respect from Vince and Roman for Daniel Bryan, which of course they should have. But seeing Roman tap, wow. Wow. When did we see Cena tap? Did we ever? Like, I think he tapped as the Doctor of Thugonomics to the ankle lock, most likely. But once he was Super Cena, did he ever tap? Seeing Roman tap was a big moment, in my opinion. I give this match an A plus. But, and as it finishes, he's tapping, the ref's out, and chair from Edge. He goes full heel, and he yells, "This is mine." Which, that's the story that should be told. I think one of the guys at Cultaholic said Edge's story should be, this is my moment in the sun and you're stealing it. It's mine and he's protecting it. And that's perfect. That's exactly what you should be doing with Edge. If he has to be in this program. He feels a little forced into this. I almost wouldn't just straight up mind Daniel and Roman. Maybe in like a Hell in a Cell or a cage or a Iron Man. I don't know. I don't know that Edge is necessary in this at all. Or in wrestling today, if I'm being honest. But it's an A+ match. I fucking loved it. They worked their asses off. Daniel Bryan proved himself again as one of the greatest of all time. And I think what this cements is that the main event of WrestleMania is a triple threat. Going to be Roman, Edge, and Daniel, and it's going to be spectacular. I don't love Edge. He's great. So it's going to be incredible, but I don't love Edge, but it's going to be great. I think Roman and Edge would have been like Roman and Randy, which I don't think people would have loved, which why I think I said in my Rumble video, this match needed a worker. Whether it was Kevin Owens or Daniel or Jay or whoever it was. I thought the match needed somebody who can carry the workload as a worker, and that's going to be Daniel Bryan. And now that triple threat as the main event of Mania, I think we all know what has to happen. I mean, Roman has to retain. I'm afraid Daniel is there to take a pin because I don't think Roman should be leaving without the title. I think Edge should be eating a pin, but I don't think he will. I think Daniel Bryan probably gets pinned at Mania. And I think that's fine for where he is in his career and what run Roman should be starting. They made sure to note last night was 203 days with Roman as Universal Champion. Maybe that's because they're about to start adding some big numbers to that. What's that? What's the last most relevant one? Oh yeah, CM Punk 434. Maybe it's time to get his name off the top of that list. Maybe it's time for Roman to go over 500. Doing the best work of anybody in the business right now, in my opinion. I love Roman Reigns. He has fully turned his career around and he deserves credit for it, and I'm happy to give it. And Fastlane started off awful, but we got a lot of fun matches towards the end. I think this is for a B show. This is like a B or B minus. I loved the Fiend return. Shinsuke and Seth really turned it up. Drew and Sheamus both look super legit. So ultimately, I think this is like a B minus show. And I don't know where I feel about Mania. I think I'm gonna do a separate video, kind of gauging my interest in Mania next week. So I'll save it for then. But right now, I won't say I'm excited. I'm nervous, if I'm being honest. Because the card needs to fill out properly. There's there's a lot to still figure out because WWE doesn't like to tell long-term stories. So it all just kind of feels like not WrestleMania worthy. But with that being said, guys, Fastlane was an interesting show. I enjoyed the second half very much. Let me know what you guys think below. Give me a like, give me a comment, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to stick around as we continue down the road to WrestleMania. The Goose is out. Hi.